Hi, hi everyone. Hope you okay. Hope you are the lovely one. Anyway, today, this week, we're going to talk about favor, God's favor in our lives. So, what's favor? Favor is simply a requirement of our everyday life. It's the grace of God that fills our lives, like in everything we do, that keeps us moving. Favor is more of like the fuel of your life. Yeah, because as a Christian, as a human being, you need God's favor in everything you do. If you're going to make it in this world, you need God's favor in everything you do, everything you touch, everything that's about you needs to be filled with God's favor. So, how does God how does God how does God's favor affect us? How does it improve our lives? How does it work for us as Christians? God's favor, according to me, and according to so many people that I have seen, God's favor is simply like a life simplifier for everyone. Because once you invite God's favor into your life, like you just wake up in the morning and you're like, God, let your favor be upon me. Trust me, even in rooms that you have not stepped in, you will be favored. Like, just ask God to favor your name, favor your documents, favor your anything. And even when you've not yet arrived for an interview, you're going to be favored. Things just work out for your good, just the same way God promised us. Sometimes sometimes you wake up and you don't know how the week is going to be, you don't know how the day is going to be, things are so hard, things seem so difficult, what. Well, life hack. You just invite God's favor into your life and everything will just turn out perfect. Things will just align for your good. Things just somehow, somewhere align, and you will achieve something, and you will indeed be like, this is God's favor. Though as human beings, sometimes when you achieve something that you knew you could not achieve on your own, and somehow God favors you and you achieve it, sometimes you're like, oh my God, I'm just skilled like that, I'm wise like that. But no, my dear, it's God's favor that has enabled you to reach that point, to be that successful, to achieve whatever you're achieving. So yeah, God's favor is just a requirement of our everyday life. For example, in some scriptures talk more about it, like Isaiah 58 verse 11. It says that God will guide you continuously and satisfy your soul in drought. This simply says that even when you're in that place where you are so threatened, you are so scared, you don't know what's next, you do not know what to do, you do not know where to go, how to start, how to explain, or even like what piece of the puzzle to put together, you simply ask God to lead you and to give you his favor, as in all that you do, in the thinking, in the implementation, in anything that is puzzling you. And God just seems to work it out for your good. Like, even you yourself, you know that you're not going to manage that situation on your own. So just invite in God's favor. God's favor aligns. You're going to reach offices that, first of all, people did not know you would reach. Even yourself, you did not know you would ever step in. You reach those offices, and God's favor will soften people's hearts. People that everyone complains of as, oh my God, that person is so hard-hearted. They do not listen to other people. They are so hard to approach, and all those things. They will listen to you because God has favored you. Things will be a bit simpler for you. You will go through, you will achieve whatever you want to achieve because God has favored you. When you're applying your documents, you're applying your CVs, you're applying for whatever you're applying for. Is it visas, CVs, identification documents, passports, what, academic admissions and all? Ask sponsorships, bursaries, what? Ask for God's favor to lead you, to be with those documents. Because you're not going to be in the rooms with the documents. You're just going to submit and wait for a response. Well, before you submit, ask for God's favor to be upon your name and upon your documents. And indeed, He will be there with you. Even when they just unzip your envelope, it will be filled. Favor will be in the room because your name is involved in this thing. When you're applying for a job, favor is going to be in the room. HR is going to open. It's going to look at your CV and it's going to be satisfactory because you worked hard, and then you also added another huge part of asking for God's favor. So your hard work and God's favor is just going to blow up. That's what God's favor does. Like, people will be like, no, the job is too hard. That person cannot achieve it, but you will achieve it because you're favored of God. You're like God's favorite child. You're loved. You're filled with God's grace. God's mercy is sufficient in your life. So how can you fail? It's not even possible. It does not even add up. So in Genesis chapter 18, verse 3, it says, says, do not pass by my home without stopping. I am here to serve you. So this, according to me, I put it in context of when you are serving God, when you're doing, in whatever you're doing, when you're doing it to serve God, you're working, but you know you're working. Your work pleases God. You're applying for something, but you know you're not applying for something that's going to cause immorality to somewhere. It's like whatever you're applying to is in line with God's goodness. You can always ask God that, God, as I move out, as I apply, as I do this, as I speak, as I do my presentation, let your favor be upon me. Do not let it pass by. You know, when you're getting ready, when you've reached an office or something, and you're 10 people waiting to be interviewed, most of those people are praying, and God's favor is just there in the room. So why don't you also pray? Like in chapter 18, verse 3, you also pray and said, do not let your favor pass me by. Do not pass by my home. Do not pass by my job. Do not pass by my promotion. Do not pass by my admission. I am also a servant of God. So why would God pass you by? He's going to fill you with favor. You will stand in front of the panel, and you will shine up because you are filled with God's favor. Your documents will be unzipped, and they will be favored. They'll be pleasing to the people that are going through them, to the team, to the panel members, because you are favored, because you asked God to intervene, you ask God to be part of your journey, whatever it is. So also in Psalms chapter 90, verse 17, this is more to do with work. It says, and let the beauty of God be upon us and establish the works of our hands. Sometimes when we wake up, we're in a hurry. For example, Monday morning, you wake up, oh my God, I'm late, you're in a hurry, you're trying to pick traffic, you just start your day for. Well, for years, you're starting your day for. Some of us start our days with asking God to install His beauty, His grace, His favor in our work. Because when God favors the things you do, somehow, somewhere, you are number one. Even when people are looking for connections on what, God is your main connection. God is the main connection that is going to connect you to the earthly connections. So let God's favor fill you, so that when people are looking for who to connect here, who to plug, your name appears, your business is there because it is filled with God's favor. When you're working, God's favor is all around. God's favor is in your finances, in your marketing, in your strategic planning, in your customer service. It's all around. In your balancing and everything, God's favor is all around, because you've asked God in Psalms 90:17, you've asked God to be upon you and to establish the works of your hands. That means nothing is going to fail. Everything you're laying your hands on is going to be established. It's going to work out for good, because nothing. You can't put something into God's hands. You can't put God's beauty and grace onto your work and God lets it fail. That's how good and amazing God is. We also see in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 11, the end part, it says, God chose us to be his own people in union with Christ because of his purpose, as it has always been from the beginning. Remember, God's purpose for you and me is for us to prosper and not to perish. So, if he chose us, that means he loved us. That means he favored us. That means he has showed us, he's willing to show us grace all the seconds of our lives. And that simply means that we shall not prosper, because from the beginning, even before you are born, God has a plan for you. And the plan for you is for you to prosper and never to perish. So as long as you involve him in your life, in your plans, just, first of all, God even knows your plans before you alter them out. So even before you speak them, God already knows them. So just, it's a matter of you now also telling him again that, God, you know what, today is Monday. I am starting this week. I have a visa interview. Please lead me. Please favor me. I am submitting my CV here in this organization. Please favor it. I am going to meet so and so honorable, so and so governor, so and so, whatever the positions. Please lead me. Please favor my presence, my name, my documents, and trust me, his purpose shall prevail in your life, in everything you do. God's favor is like the biggest life hack anyone needs in their life. Because you can have everything and things fail because you are not a favored of God. And then for us, we will succeed as usual because God has favored us and we acknowledge God's favor upon our lives in everything we do, in everything we touch, everywhere we step is just filled with favor, because that is what God has purposed for us ever since even before we were conceived, even before our parents thought of having us. God had already planned that we will prosper, that he will love us the way he loves us. He loves us even beyond we think. So that is it for today. No matter whatever situation you think is too hard, it looks too hard for humans, but it is too simple for God. It just needs a little sprinkle of favor and everything will be smooth. The path will be straight. Everything will be quicker, because no matter what it is, God has it under control. Sometimes you do not know what to do as a human being. Sometimes it's even beyond your thinking capacity, no matter how wise you are. But God has it covered for you. You're too weak for some situations, but then our God is too strong. He's too strong, he's too confident. He can fight for us in every situation, and he can fill us with all the grace we need, and even much more. So that is it for this week. Have a lovely week. May God favor everything that you're touching, the works of your hands, the works of your brain, and everything else. Have a lovely one. Bye-bye. God bless you.